Global heads, hello. We are at war. In a sense, the United States and the United Kingdom has attacked the Houthi rebels massively in Yemen. Not only that, but the Iranians have captured an oil tanker. So, guys, it's really ratcheting up fast. This is it. The United States is in the game, and the Houthis, prior to the attack, had said if the United States attacked, that they would respond massively. Our good friend Canadian prepper Nate calls them the honey badgers of war. So they will certainly try to do something. It's been said that they had moved some of their equipment in advance. So we're at war in a sense. We'll have to see how big this gets, but it is escalating. The year 2024 is a year of war. Not only that, but we've got so much other hot spots, and we got weather warnings. We've got blizzards, and we've got tornadoes. I'm really worried about the tornado forecast coming up for tomorrow in this region here. So buckle up, guys. It's coming. It's coming fast. We got record colds coming. The weather, the wars, it all is coalescing, and you need to be prepping. That's the main message of all of this. So let me come in here and do a share so you guys can, well, I don't need to do that right now. Let's just talk. We'll talk here for a second, guys. I'm going to cancel the share. I'm going to see who's in the chat room first. So hang on, guys. That's not doing what I want to do here. So, guys, what's happened is the United States and the United Kingdom carried out a series of airstrikes on military locations of the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen in response to the militant group's attacks, which they have been doing for the past several weeks against vessels, commercial vessels, traveling through the Red Sea. As you know, they had just launched their biggest attack a day before, and they claim, the Houthis claim, that their response is going to be even bigger than that should we hit them, but we have. So we'll have to see how that pans out. In that, President Biden said he authorized these strikes in direct response to unprecedented Houthi attacks against international marine vessels in the Red Sea, including the use of anti-ship ballistic missiles for the first time in history. So I don't know if it really was the first time in history, but he claims the first time in history. Hey, we got a super chat from Rodney Middleton. Salute to Rodney Middleton. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. Rodney Middleton is our knife smith. He's also sent me some nice knives. So, guys, I'll show that maybe later in the series here, guys. So let's get back to it here. According to Biden, these strikes had endangered U.S. personnel and allies and threatened the freedom of navigation. Now, they're still yet to really strike against a lot of the, well, in a big way, against, they have hit one of the rocket launchers that was in Iraq that was firing on our bases there. As you know, our bases have sustained something like 200 attacks. So when you look at all this across the board, tell me we're not in World War III. I mean, we got multi-nation activity going on here, multi-nation activity like we haven't seen since WW2. This is unprecedented in our lifetimes, what's occurring right now. And it's not just the number of nations, and it seems to be somewhat low intensity at the moment. It's outside of Israel, Gaza Strip, and outside of Ukraine. It's very intense in those areas. But for the rest of the nations, the intensity is at the moment not quite well. Yemen may be an exception now. So, but this can ratchet up. What we've got here today that we didn't have then is sleeper cells in America. What we didn't have then that we've got today is nuclear weapons all around the world. As these tensions ratchet up, how far can this go? Guys, you got to be prepping. You got to be getting ready. So to bring it home here, the White House had called for a lid on President Biden's engagements for the evening because he was going to come out with this stuff. And believe it or not, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's made a statement. We'll come back to that in a moment. But there was a joint statement from Australia, Bahrain, Canada, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands, New Zealand, and South Korea and other nations that basically said, there was a joint statement that says, we intended to disrupt and degrade the capabilities of the Houthis used to threaten global trade and the lives of international mariners and one of the world's most critical waterways. Now get this, all those other nations were not directly involved in this strike. It was carried out by the United States, United Kingdom. But these other countries, including a Middle Eastern nation, Bahrain, had decided to come out with this joint statement. So that shows that there's a lot of support for this, because a lot of nations had their trade at risk. It's costing everybody now that all this trade is being redirected. As a matter of fact, Tesla is shutting down one of their main factories in Europe because of lack of supplies. So, guys, there's a lot of ramification for what's going on right now. We'll go more into this stuff in a minute. Anyway, so as I said, the Houthis had anticipated that these attacks would occur, and their leader, Abdel Malik al-Houthi, had vowed earlier Thursday that that this will not go without a huge response. He said that any such attack would merit a response bigger than the recent strike with all those drones, like 24 drones and missiles and things that they had just put out, which we, for the most part, intercepted. So, guys, I'll come to the chat room in a minute. I'm going to get the main news out first here, because this is breaking news. This is very vital that people understand what's up and what's at stake here, what it means to us, the risk that's involved. The Prime Minister of Great Britain, Rishi Sunak, he also came out with some statements on this, talking about, before it happened, the imminent military intervention. I think he's come out with some subsequent statements too. John Kirby, the White House's national security spokesperson, he on Thursday before all this had called for the Houthis to stop these attacks, and he said that if they didn't, the terrorist group would bear consequences for any failure to do so. And we can see that those attacks have already took place. So, anyway, so national, now one thing also some people have been criticizing was this tit for tat kind of thing that we've been engaged in the past. And some people would call for action that would be to the scale that there wouldn't be a tit for tat type engagement going on after we launch some kind of attack. That's yet to be seen, because the Houthis are claiming they're going to do a massive response. Will they be able to? Apparently, they did move a lot of their equipment ahead of time because they were anticipating this attack. So they took some of their missiles and forces and maybe some of their people and got them out of what they perceived to be harm's way. How good was our intelligence to anticipate this and know where things were going? I don't know. What they still have available to them at this point, I don't know. So, yeah, I started to do this a bit earlier. I started actually to do this as a just an upload feed, but I decided to go live with it to get it to you guys faster. I actually knew about this a couple of hours ago, but I did have some other things I was engaged in, guys. Sorry about that. So I'll show you some pictures, some things from this in a moment. But the bombardment came, after the U.S. military had staged their 27th attack on, after the Houthis had staged their 27th attack on shipping since the 19th of November. So the Houthis had just been constantly attacking. And basically, our response so far had been, stop it. Well, we took a lot of heat for that. And so finally, the administration got behind making an attack to do this. Biden said that more than 50 nations have been affected in 27 attacks on international commercial shipping. Crews from more than 20 countries had been threatened or taken hostage in acts of piracy. He went on that more than 2,000 ships had been forced to divert thousands of miles to avoid the Red Sea, which can cause weeks of delays in product shipping times. And on January 9th, the Houthis launched the largest attack to date, directly targeting American ships. So, and he went on further to say, last week, together with 13 allies and partners, we issued an unequivocal warning that the Houthi rebels would bear consequences if their attacks did not cease. And yesterday, the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution demanding that the Houthis end attacks on merchant commercial vessels. So we'll see how all that goes, guys. Yeah. So it's been a major affair here. Let's see if I can find Lloyd Austin's big statement. He made a major big statement, which was to the effect of today's, this is some Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin finally spoke up from God knows where, but he said, today's strikes targeted the Houthis' unmanned aerial vehicle, uncrewed surface vessel, land attack cruise missile, and coastal radar and air surveillance capabilities. He said that the United States maintains its right to self-defense and, if necessary, will take follow-on actions to protect U.S. forces. So, oh yeah, so that, he did come out with some statements after the fact. He did say that despite the repeated warnings from the international, this is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, despite the repeated warnings from the international community, the Houthis have continued to carry out attacks on the Red Sea, including against the UK and US warships just this week. This cannot stand. The United Kingdom will always stand up for freedom of navigation and the free flow of trade. We have therefore taken limited, necessary, and proportional action in self-defense. So we'll see how these things work out, guys. The Houthi Deputy Foreign Minister Hussein al-Ezzi, E-Z-Z-I, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, said, our country was subjected to a massive, aggressive attack by American and British ships, submarines, and warplanes, and America and Britain will undoubtedly have to prepare to pay a heavy price and bear all the dire consequences of this blatant aggression. Like, okay, let us hit you as much as we want to, but don't dare hit back. If you hit back, that's aggressive. Wow, we're going to do something about it. Wow. Anyway, you can expect that kind of response. So, in any event, yeah, I did finally make it home, Bonnie. So we don't, you know, guys, they did get the United Nations to weigh in. I guess they considered that was their final authorization to take the action that they would take. And they've done that. Of course, prior to that, as I said, the Houthi leader, Mr. Abdel Malik al-Houthi, had stated that this would not go without a response. He said that the United States will not go without a response, that any American attack will not remain without response. The response will be greater than the attacks carried out with 20 drones and a number of missiles. It was like 24 drones, I believe, that they did just a couple of days ago on the 9th. So, and he said, we will confront the American aggression in a televised program on Thursday. This attack that the United States and Great Britain did was Friday morning. Well, it's still Thursday here in Alabama for a few hours, but it was early Friday morning, and it looks like it was before sunrise. Yeah, I do have some great videos, two-part videos on how to survive nuclear war, guys. You do need to pay attention, as Cowgirl in Arizona pointed out. But see, that's not all that's happened. You know, we had a capture of a oil tanker by Iran in the Sea of Oman, the Gulf of Oman. We had been down there in forces to kind of keep Iran from doing things like this, but we redirected our forces up toward the Red Sea due to all the Houthi attacks, and so, you know, which was an Iran proxy. So Iran took advantage of that to seize an oil tanker. This oil tanker would not probably have been seized otherwise, but it was destined to Turkey. It was oil that Turkey had bought from Iraq. So Iraq had the oil in this tanker. So, and this tanker had like one, I think it had one Greek, it was actually a Greek operated tanker. Some statements said it was U.S. owned. It had like 18 Filipinos on board. The Iranian Navy, let's see, yeah. Anyway, guys, so this tanker capture is an escalation itself that is off the charts, guys, off the charts. So this is something that is, how are we going to respond to that? According to Vedant Patel from the State Department, he said the Iranian government must immediately release the ship and its crew. The unlawful seizure of the commercial vessel is just the latest behavior by Iran or enabled by Iran aimed at disrupting international commerce. As we know that Iran also had tried to fire on a ship that was of interest to India, and India put a couple of their warships into the Gulf down there to stymie Iranian attacks on their stuff. It was a direct Iranian attack. So this is escalating. We've got multiple nations involved. What does that mean for you guys? What does it mean for where we're coming, guys? What's my 40? I'm in here in Alabama again. And of course we got severe weather coming at us, guys. So I'm going to now kind of launch into some article sharing here. Give me a second. I'll pull up something else. Let's see. Maybe I already got it open. Ding, 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 ding. Let me see here. Yeah. Give me 1 second, folks. All right. Now we're going to do an article share. Guys, if you don't think it's time to prep it, when is it time to prep? Come on, guys. You need to get your seeds. For that, I do have links to True Leaf Market in a lot of my videos. Check that out. Maybe somebody put them in the chat room here. But you do need to grow your own food. But if we have a nuclear winter, a volcanic winter, like Campi Floregi in Italy, it may go off and create a volcanic winter, even if we don't manage to create one through nuclear means. So there may be some difficulty with growing things at some point in time. So it's highly advised that you have food storage. Now, if you're growing your own food, you should be storing your own food and storing it in large quantities. Prepping was a way of life when I was a kid. It wasn't prepping. It's just how people live. You know, I knew lots of farmers back in the day. They would put up 7 years of food. They would have a huge storage of food that they gathered from their own garden. My next door neighbors, I remember they had a huge family, and they had this big, huge well house, and the walls were just lined with cans of stuff that they had gathered from their garden. And I remember all the families used to get together and can stuff, harvest and can stuff and store it for the winter. And so the idea was to have more than 1 year's, because there was still some distant memory of the day that we had that frost in the middle of the summer in 1817, I guess, a year without a summer. So it's always possible that you won't get a harvest sometimes. All kind of weather things can happen. Could be a hailstorm could wipe out your garden. Just wild things like that. What's up with Greg? Welcome back to your desk. Thank you, Zach. So I saw Guyana is seeking U.S. assistance too. Yeah, well, there's a British warship down in Guyana right now. So this whole thing could spread into South America easily. And of course, you know, is part of this the Venezuelan emptying of their prisons and sending those prisoners across the United States border, which we gladly seem to beckon them to come in and pay them all kind of money. That's a whole nother story, and I've covered that. Oh my gosh, guys. Anyway, go to prepwithgreg.com, you know, because you need to have long-term food storage. If you don't have it already, if you're not growing already, which you should, You should. You should be growing your own and stocking your own stuff. The cool thing about this is not glass jars. This stuff is in these nice little sealed pouches and these nice sealed buckets that's lightweight. You can stack these up and store them real easily, and you can put them in your vehicle. You can throw them in the back of your whatever vehicle if you need to bug out, or you can. And we ain't got to talk about bugging out in the future. That's a very problematic proposition if you don't have a place to go to. Bugging in might be better, but you should have caches of stuff around and not have everything. You know, everybody says fill your pantry. Yeah, you should, but you should have some things that aren't in your pantry. You should diversify in case somebody raids your pantry. This is easy to bury. That's what I like about this stuff with these buckets. And you get 2,000 calories per day. Some of the vendors of this stuff, and they talk about how many days you get. It's really 800. 2,000 calories per day, over that. And you get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they got some drinks and snacks involved in it. So this is a good deal, guys. Just $597 for a 3-month supply of food. That's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible. I don't know how they keep doing this. I really wonder, with all the food inflation we've had, how they keep doing it. So check it out, guys. And if you've already got all the food you need stored, if you're confident of that, you can come here and find a lot of other prepping supplies when you click it up here. But go to prepwithgreg.com and enter the store from there. It'll help me and help you too. They got specials and other things there. Let's move on. Here we are, U.S. UK coalition strike Iran. Yeah, this is what we just talked about. Well, we know we had over 200 attacks. I don't know, this chart is not right, but it shows some of the attacks that's been going on against American forces. So that's the Yemeni Coast Guard. This is where some of the strikes were. This is the HMS, which is a British ship, Diamond, in the Red Sea, which took part in these operations. So the British were involved in. There's one of your crude oil tankers. So a lot of trade has been limited through the Red Sea. What the heck? That is not in the, that was not. Sometimes these articles, that's not supposed to be what was in the selection here. I had some other article dialed up and it jumped. So I'll just kill it. I'm not going to go back hunting for what I had open here. So guys, the powerful weapons being aimed at the rebels. It shows the Hellfire, RX AGM 114 Hellfire. We know there were Tomahawk missiles. This is where the attacks were occurring. And Sanai, however you say that, Hode, Taze, however you say that, I don't know. So we had the F-35 involved in this. We had drones making attacks, the Reaper drone. We've had quite a few assets put into play for these attacks. And this shows the attacks where Yemen was actually firing all the way at Eilat, however you say that, over in Israel. Israel countered, and we had the first space war ever launched by the Houthi rebels. Jeez, they were intercepted in space. So who would have thought that a year ago? The Houthi rebels would have launched the first space war. Well, that's happened because those missiles were taken out above the Kármán line, which is 100 kilometers up, about 62 miles. So that's considered space. I've heard some people cite the Kármán line and they missed the altitude. I know exactly what it is. 100 kilometers, 62 miles. Trust me, that was my aim point for my Cat's Prize rocket. So I know all about the Kármán line. All right, there's some of our missiles we fired in the attack. Tomahawk cruise missile. I don't like a Tomahawk. What is that? It says Tomahawk down here. That ain't a Tomahawk. Yeah, you can't trust these articles. Journalists, what can you say? Journalists don't get it all right, but I'm a rocket scientist. I'm gonna tell you that it don't look like no Tomahawk to me. Anyway, here we are with Mr. Abdel Malik al-Houthi making his televised threat: should we attack before we attacked? And anyway, guys, I thought I had a picture of the bombardment, actually. Maybe that was the article that got closed out. I did. I had a picture that's showing where they were actually hit. I don't know what happened to it. It was one of these articles. It must be the one that got closed out. Yeah. It closed out because it jumped on me. Maybe it's down here. Nope. Don't believe it is. Nope. Anyway. All right. So much for that. So other news. I mean, guys, we got first base work we know of. Okay. Jason. Oh, yeah. Jason's in Area 51. He always tells us that. Guys, we got a lot of severe weather protracted for the country. So we got to talk about getting ready for severe weather. I'm gonna just show you some articles on it. Then we're going to talk about. I'm going to shut this article sharing off, and we're just going to talk a little bit about severe weather. They're forecasting tornadoes. I thought there might be a map in that one, but there's not. We got blizzards forecast. This is something that's going to hit eastern Iowa. We know that this is just a local newscast. This stuff's all over the country. We got super cold weather coming. We've got here we are from the Climate Prediction Center from the National Weather Service, the NOAA, showing extreme cold in blue, a lot of rain in green. We know there's snow coming too. We can see you got some deep cold. High risk is of much below normal temperatures. That's an odd way to put it. But we got a cold wave coming the entire eastern United States. This is some of the storms we're looking at immediately right here. Arkansas in particular, if you're in southwest Arkansas, look out. Northern, we got Texarkana right about here. Probably Shreveport down here in Louisiana. And all that area around there. Let's see if we can find the other. That's the weather map for that. That one's in motion a little bit, showing some of the storms that's going through there now. These storms don't look too intense at the moment, but I did see one forecaster project that for tornadoes in the southeast here in this tornado alley, that it actually looks a lot like the setup for April the 26th, I believe it was, of 2011, when we had a huge superstorm outbreak. I've not heard the local news harp on it. Well, I don't watch the local news, but I did look for some articles online to that effect. I didn't see the harping on it that we heard before that series of storms hit, so I don't think it's going to be as bad. There's other extenuating circumstances to keep it from being as bad. They're showing this is tonight, tomorrow, and then it's going offshore. We'll talk about that. We'll go to windy here in a little bit. So, and we can see this. We got some storms. There's not a lot of big red in here, so that makes you wonder why it's really so bad, but it may be. A lot of snow up in Newfoundland in some places. What's going on here? I'm trying to move things around. Am I getting what I want? Let's go back. Whoop, wrong way. A lot of snow here in the middle of the country. Snow back up in the northwest. A lot of snow there. I'm not going to go city by city right now. We're just going to kind of clock this thing forward. Let me back up one click. We're going to clock this thing forward a little bit in time. Let's see what it shows us. They're getting deep red there. Those could be major storms. Eastern Arkansas, Memphis, watch out. And here's the next day. It's Friday morning in our area here. And it's going up through Washington and up the East Coast. Yeah, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine. That's what it's doing. And then you see storms out in California. A lot of storm potential, guys. So, all right, that's enough of that. We'll stop the share now, and we'll just chat a little bit about what to do and why I'm worried about this. Rainbow food rocks. Hey, Gil. Really cold in northern Arizona. Oh, you know what? I should come back here and do temperatures. Yeah, pardon me. Let's go back here and do temperatures. That's the real story, probably. Let's look at it from the temperature aspect. Now, you can see little temperatures in here, but if we click on temperature, so it gives us a different map. Now let's clock this one forward. So Thursday, see this cold coming down, -19 in Great Falls, -20 projected. Friday, it's after the rain and all that comes through. The cold's really coming down now. It's starting to come down here. -15 for a minute there in Rapid City, South Dakota. Billings, -13, -50, -26 Great Falls. -10 in Kansas City. Whoa. All right, so now we're up to Saturday. Monday and Tuesday is when we're supposed to get really cold here. So there we go. The cold is expanding. It's coming down, -10 for a little bit there in Omaha. St. Louis, we're seeing a 12 degree. Now we're in Monday. We're going to the PM. -2, Kansas City, minus. All right. And now we're Tuesday. 17 in Memphis. Wednesday. See all this cold across the country, guys? Lots of cold weather's coming. All right, enough of that. All right, we've been going 31 minutes, 241 in the room. We got Granny here from Utah. Lost screen share. Oh, I don't have a screen share? Oh, okay, come on. I'm sorry, guys. Let me come back to it. Thank you for telling me that. Did y'all see the other weather I was showing? Warmer here in Alaska. You know, when it's warm in Alaska, it's colder in the continental United States usually. There's some converse relationship there. Come on, I'll go back and do the screen share. Sorry, guys. Thanks for catching that. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, there we go, guys. Sorry, thank you for catching that. Here we go. We're walking forward here on the cold. We're looking at weather. Did you see the storms? Did we miss the screen share when I was showing y'all the storms? I get a no and a yes. I don't know what that means. Utah is a nice place if you like snow. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of snow. Look, -22 in Billings, -24, -29 in Great Falls. Bismarck was -13, -10 up here in Lebanon and Omaha, -10 in Kansas City, -10 for a minute there in Kansas. Wow, down here. All right, so now we're up to Sunday. Yeah, Monday night and Tuesday night are supposed to be the cold temperatures in my area down here. Yeah, we're Monday. We're heading toward Monday night. You see another expansion of the cold. It's kind of like a heartbeat. You know, it gets bigger at nighttime, of course. Bigger and cold. Now we're in the morning time on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we're going to see more cold. Memphis is 17. And there we are. So in case y'all didn't see it, let me come back. Oh, look at that. Thursday. Yeah, this just keeps going, guys. Just keeps going. So there we are. We got a lot of cold weather coming, even through Friday the 19th. You know, St. Paul -6. Fargo was -8 there for a minute. Yeah, this just keeps on keeping on up through the following Saturday. So let me do this. Let me come back. Let's hit the reset. This is Thursday morning. That's already passed, so we should be right here. That's the current time mark. Let's go back into rain and thunder. To spell you under. In case we missed this, I don't know what you guys did or didn't see. This. Look at this storm front here in Memphis. And here we are. Those storms right there was what they're worried about here in Alabama. In Alabama, what they're claiming is the worst threat area is east of I-65 and south of I-20. So this area right here. And I'm sure that's extending into Georgia and probably South Carolina. for and that will be tomorrow morning, Friday morning. Now we see a lot of snow moving down. Look at this snow coming down. This is Monday, coming into my area Monday. Wow, that's a pretty good extent of snow. All the way down to Jackson, Mississippi. Now here at the North Court, as usual. All right. Now here's why we need to talk about this. Let me stop the share. Here's why we need to talk about this. So we got a threat of wind, blizzards, and tornadoes, maybe some ice storms. All these things can cause power outages. What happens when you get really cold temperatures and you don't have power? You know, especially in the new administration don't want you to have gas heat. They don't want you to have wood stoves. They want you to have everything electric. But what fails the easiest thing? Electric. And we know that when the grid gets overburdened, we already saw that Texas, I presented this last night. Texas ERCOT was saying, oh, you need to conserve your power. We're at risk of losing our power. When you need it the most is when you're going to have it the least. And yet they want us to force everything into electric. I'm an electrical engineer. I like electricity, but we don't have the grid, the production facilities that we need because we're shutting stuff down. As we're shutting stuff down, they're pushing more and more stuff on the grid. Is somebody bad at math or what? What's wrong with these people? They want to potentially shut down 60% of the electric generation capacity in this country with coal and even natural gas through the regulations that they're putting on the gas plants also. And then they're wanting to like double the usage on the grid itself. You got to be kidding me. It's like, you know, somebody can add, oh yeah, these are the same people think you can spin endlessly. Obviously, you're bad at math. You know, we need to send our Congress critters and the people in administration back to grammar school and teach them arithmetic. Forget calculus and all these things. They need to learn 1 and 1 is 2. 1 and 1 and 1 is 3. It's like in Sergeant Pepper's song. 1 and 1 and 1 or 3, whatever. Gotta be good looking because he's so hard to see. Anyway, guys, so they're nuts. Exactly, Cowgirl. I mean, where are they coming from? And what's it mean for you? What it means for you is you might suddenly have no power and you got super cold weather. You need to take extra precautions. You need to do it now, as soon as you can, to have heat in some fashion or some way to protect your pipes. I went this evening and before I left, I filled up as much as I could my kerosene heater, and I went and got 5 gallons of kerosene so that I can, you know, have some form of heat if I should lose power. There's a good chance that in 2011, April the 26th, 2011, when we had this breakout of superstorms, we had lost power here for a week. Fortunately, they got cold after that. Usually when these kind of tornadoes come through, the atmosphere clears out, you got a high pressure system, and temperatures drop. It got pretty cold after, but nothing like what it's going to get now. Nothing like the cold weather we got coming at us. Last winter, it got to 9 degrees here, and I had water dripping in my tub, and I still had pipe froze. And when it busted, I had a flood in my house. It made a big mess. So, and that was a really trying thing for me. Made a huge mess. I will not even repeat what Cowgirl said. I'd probably take it off the platform. But you see my little video talking about propane, my propane video on Silverhead News. I kind of addressed it there. And that video really talks to where we're at right now, too. Propane. They're trying to take our propane. But I did touch on what Cowgirl was talking about. You seal detectors if you're using combustion for heat. There you go. You're right. Carbon monoxide detectors. Green Country Agroforestry. Jason Neighbors. Jason, I got to be contacting you like real soon. We got to start this video interview series. Maybe tomorrow, or I don't know if you're up for the weekend. Maybe possibly next week. But I may be making a trip to Houston if I get my transmission repaired. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if that's happening or not. Yeah, cowgirl, I hear you. So, well, there's only one letter difference between those two words, a change of a vowel. Yes, yes, indeed. So, but the key thing is, guys, what you got to bear in mind is you got to get ready for this cold weather, and you got to anticipate that you may not have electricity to heat things. So I got a well back here, and I use an electrical heater. A lot of people have lights in their well house. I got an electric heater in my well house. I'm about to go out and have to double check it, and if it's not working, and put another one in it. But should the power be lost, I'm going to have to drain the tank out there and the water lines through that well. Should power be lost, I might be tempted to try to drain the water in the house. Just close off the water supply. The well won't be running if you don't have power anyway. But close it off and just open the spigot outside. Hope if it's not frozen. If it's frozen, I got a problem. But that may be a good way to try to get this stuff out. Did you see the new paper published by CCP on a new? No, I haven't seen that yet, Jason. Tell me more. So good, Greg. I'm putting off doing a live stream because I can't think about anything else. Oh, okay, then we got to get to this. We definitely got to get to this. How soon, Jason? Jason, drop a link to the paper. Yeah, put a paper in here. Put a link in here. So I'd like to see that. Anyway, smash a like. Yeah, guys, we got 237 in the room. I'm only showing 41 likes. Let me refresh the page and see if that's correct. That's way behind if it is. No, I got 189 likes, but still we're way behind on likes. Not dropping spoilers is tough. All righty. Yeah, what we got to get at it. So Jason, when you want to do it? I do need to go to the bank tomorrow. I've got a few other little things I got to juggle, and who knows? I might not have power. It's possible. I could lose power. If I lose power, then I'm not going to be able to do much. Let me see any links dropped here. So here's the thing, guys. Get ready. Like I said, I went and got kerosene. Maybe you got a wood stove. Maybe you can get a My Buddy heater with propane. But then again, do like Jason said, get you a carbon monoxide meter. I got one, put it in my van when I was out in the desert because I thought I got a little bitty My Buddy, but I couldn't stand that My Buddy in my little van. I got one of those little bitty ones, everybody told me to get. I ran that thing for about 3 or 5 minutes and I was choking and coughing. The fumes was killing me. Couldn't handle it. But I've been to other places where people have used them since, and bigger ones, and I had a problem with them. So, it depends. Of course, they keep a window cracked a little bit, but there are many options you can look at. I will probably put a few little electric heaters around different places if we have electricity where I'm really worried about the pipes, like where I had that last pipe breakage, to try to avert that. Should we have electric power, that will help. If not, it may be draining the water out if I can. If the pipes to my faucets outdoors are covered, but that don't mean it won't be frozen inside the line somewhere or the faucet itself. It won't mean I may not be able to drain water out. But chances are we'll lose power before Dr. John Campbell's channel. Chances are we will lose power before it gets really cold. So hopefully that would give me an opportunity to drain things if I need to. So, and it's the same for most of you probably. But unless it's a blizzard or an ice storm that takes out your power, many things can take out power. A blizzard, just the wind. Any high wind event could cause damage that could take out your power. Aluminum slate line will produce considerable heat. Avoid drinking or spilling. Oh, okay. There you go. 2 wood stoves and porch and metal. Yeah, another thing, guys, do not run a generator in an enclosed space. If you got a generator to run to give you additional power, put it outside somewhere, like on your porch or next to your house. Don't run it inside. If you got it in the garage, you better have the garage doors wide open. Still, you're going to have a lot of carbon monoxide in that garage. If you open the door from the garage to the house, that's coming in the house. How much will you get? I don't know. But those are hazards, guys. You got to watch it with stuff like that. And a carbon monoxide meter is good to have for those kind of events. I've got one. I brought it in the house here somewhere. I have to look for it. The one I bought. I had in my van in Arizona. I brought it in. I have to find it if I need it. I've used kerosene heat in the house before, and I like kerosene. It's a bit pricey here in Alabama. I'm paying, I just bought it. It was over $5, almost, maybe it's getting approaching $6 a gallon. It was $5.49 a gallon, which was a lot higher than I've seen it. But a little bitty quart in Arizona is higher than that. Arizona's not set up for kerosene, which blew my mind. I thought kerosene was everywhere. Like, I got a kerosene lamp up here. We're pretty ubiquitous kerosene lamps, but I said, did I say California? I'm in Arizona. In Arizona, you go to, if you're looking for kerosene, you buy it like Ace Hardware. And a gallon is going to be like $25 for a gallon. It's like, what? That's insane. That's insane. They actually were selling kerosene heaters there too. It's like, why would anybody buy a kerosene heater if you got to pay $25 for a gallon of fuel? I'm considering getting rid of my kerosene heaters before I go out there. Either that or filling me up a 55-gallon drum and taking it out there. Maybe I could sell it for a profit. Yeah, it's just kind of hard to believe. I've used those candle lantern. So there's this whole thing with a candle and a pot, that a lot of people talk about. You take a clay pot and invert it and put a candle on it. You got to raise it. If you take a clay pot and put little spacers underneath where it touches, you can't put it straight down on a table or a surface. It's got to have air for the fire. So you put little spacers down. It could be little blocks of wood or anything. Set the clay pot on it. Put the candle inside there. Put a big candle. It's going to burn for a while. And the candle will heat the clay pot up, and it will radiate heat from the clay pot. So that it makes a decent little heater. But the dogs are better to snuggle on a cold night than hamsters. Well, hamsters just don't put out as much. Human body puts out like a little better than a kilowatt of heat. Yeah, human body is a generator, a kilowatt. I've got those. You can get these little bitty heaters about the size of your hand at Walmart that'll put out 400 watts. That's a third of what a human body puts out. I found that was the only thing I could run concurrently with my CPAP machine at night when I was using the Predator 2000 generator. Anything bigger than that in a generator would trip. I had one heater just a little bit bigger, trip. Right off the bat, trip. Now I could run the bigger heater if I weren't running the CPAP. So I had them both set up. And before I'd run the CPAP, I'd run the big heater just for a little bit, switch it off, turn on the little one, turn on the CPAP, and crawl in the sleeping bag. So I finally got me a modus operandi out there. Had terracotta pots on the gas stove as a kid. There you go. That would do the same thing. But gas stoves are very dangerous to use as a heating element because they put out a lot of carbon monoxide. When I first got married, I bought a little house trailer in Albertville, Alabama, and it was in a lot. I had a nice yard, that same trailer park today. All the trailers are stacked right next to each other. And it's still a trailer park, but it's mostly immigrants living in there. It's all immigrants. And the trailers is all side by side, just packed in like sardines. Well, we had a decent yard when I was there. But this trailer, I didn't know it when I got it, it didn't have a furnace in it. And I tried to heat from the stove. Greatly alarmed my dad. My dad came out there and put in a heavy duty wire with a 3-prong plug and for $240 and gave me a big electric heater. That helped a lot. So okay is your word for chicken. What? Okay, it's your word for chicken. What in the world are we talking about? I guess I missed some conversation here. So anyway, yeah, as Jason was talking about, dogs are better than hamsters for warmth. That's why I'm going to provoke this heat conversation. Uh, Actually, there's that band, Three Dog Night. Three Dog Night took their name from having, I guess they visited some tribe in Africa where the guys told them that on a cold night they would sleep with a dog. If it got colder, they'd throw on another dog. And a super cold night, they'd throw on three dogs. Now, believe it or not, there are areas in Africa where it does get cold at night. You go down to South Africa, or if you go up to the highlands in Kenya, like around Nairobi, Kenya is pretty high elevation. And so you can have frost in the mornings in Nairobi. That's what my ex-wife from Nairobi told me. And so I could see the occasion. Of course, you got Mount Kenya, you got Mount Kenya there and other places. So definitely you could have a situation where you need extra heat. And that's where Three Dog Night took that name. If you had a real cold night, that was a Three Dog Night. So that was a funny. I sleep with my dog, but there's some risk of sleeping with dogs, guys, or any pet, and catching some kind of bacteria. I've seen some articles claiming don't do it, it's risky. So I'm not advising anybody to sleep with their dog, although some people do that. If you're freezing to death, it probably beats freezing. So unfortunately, I love cooking with gas stoves. Well, cooking with them is one thing as opposed to using them as a heat source. Because if you cook with them, you're using it for a limited amount of time. But as a heat source, you're going to be running it for a while. So it's probably got a lot more to do with how much you're burning in your house, how much carbon monoxide you're actually generating. You don't know me, Mom says a 3 dog night when you use 3 water dogs for catfish bait one night. 3 water dogs. Does everybody call them chooks? I don't even know what that is, Gabby. Chooks. What's a chook? I guess not. I don't even know what that is. What's a chook? Could you go out the barn and cuddle with the cows? Well, the barns are usually pretty darn cold. But if you don't have any heat in the house, it may not make any difference. Except you may have insulation in your house that you're going to lose advantage of. I've never heard of a chook. Okay, David, that makes 2 of us. Chook is really a Southern Hemisphere English speaking thing. Okay, Southern Hemisphere. Nazi thing. Okay, yeah, chook, that's not a word I know. Sleeping with dogs for 58 years. Okay, well, I know people that do that and have for a long time. Absolutely. I know some people that always do that, but it's, something to think about. Like I said, I've read articles that claim that, you could get various infections and blah, 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 but at the same time, a lot of people do it. Like I said, it beats freezing to death. That's for sure. My husband and I sleep with 4 small dogs in the bed. Hey, Michelle Young. Small dog is not a big heat generator. So anyway, well, you got a hubby to cuddle up to. That helps, Michelle. Because a human being puts out a kilowatt of heat. So if you're a couple and you got a significant other, and you can hopefully keep each other warm. What I have found is that blankets don't come. Oh, chooks are chickens. Okay, thank you for that, Valerie. So this is funny. Here we're talking about throwing dogs on the bed. Blankets, are good, but they're limited. What they can do. A sleeping bag, if you have a good one, can be a lot better. Now, a poor sleeping bag ain't going to buy you much. But I went to Outdoor Warehouse or something like that up in Sholo, Arizona, and I found me a roomy sleeping bag. The ones I had was just too tight. I get in and I'm like this. I can't move, I'm not a small guy. It's like, I can't move. What can't turn over, But I got me one that's got a little elbow room. It's like 39 inches, and it was rated for 25 below. That was a huge sleeping bag. It's not one I would backpack with, because if you roll it up, it's going to be about yay big around and about that long. It's not a good backpack bag. Holy smoke, it would keep me. And I was warm once I got that bag. I had spent some really cold nights in the desert in Arizona. That bag helped a lot. I'm glad I found it. Oh, that bag did a lot for me. Of course, it don't, you still get cold when you get out of bed and get back up. It got down to 12 degrees on me when I was out there in the desert. It was cold enough that even running that little bitty 400-watt heater, which don't put out a lot of heat, I would find frost, hoarfrost, on the inside of my windows when I got up in the morning. So it was still below freezing inside my van. I don't even know what a water dog. What is a water dog? I don't know, those little water bears, that the little bitty critters. Is a water dog like a hunting dog that you go duck hunting with? What's a water dog? Help me out, guys. TDDR bought 0-degree sleeping bag for the family. Yeah, that's the 0 bag would be pretty good for most cases. That would be better than most people need. My doxy and 4 cats sleep with us. I keep the house at 64, and they all have their own heating pads. They have their own heating pads. I thought you were using them for heating pads. Well, should the power go out, maybe that dog is the answer, dog or cat. But is the bag 6 pounds tan and red flannel inside? Got the same one. Yeah, 39 by 80, something like that. Keith, you may have the same one. Yeah, that sounds about right. Red inside, yes. Yeah, we probably got the same bag. I got it at, we probably got the same store in Show Low. Keith's in my neighborhood up there. He is right close to Show. He's closer to Show Low than my place is. Wear long johns. Yeah, I was definitely having to wear long johns. But once I got in that bag, I didn't really need them. Getting in and out of it, you need them. Thought I was a country boy. What do you say? I'm not a country boy because I'm not sleeping with dogs? what do you mean by that? I had a Arctic grade sleeping bag when I was a kid. And I thought I took it with me out to Arizona the back trip before last, and I discovered I grabbed the wrong one. But then when I actually took it, I discovered it don't work anymore. Well, the thing is, nearly 50 years old. In fact, it's probably right over 50 years old, and it don't loft anymore like it used to. I mean, it was actually working like 2 or 3 years ago. I tried it 2 or 3 years ago and it worked, but oh my gosh, it was not functioning on me out there last time I tried it. It was freezing me. So fortunately, I found a bag that worked. Hello, Greg and Mods. Yeah, I'm on early today because I'm trying to bring you breaking news. So I'm not bringing you the smorgasbord of articles that I typically bring you. What I'm bringing you is the breaking news that the United States, United Kingdom attacked the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Major attack upon them. And they've said, hey, they would do it again if they have to. And the Houthis have claimed that they are going to strike back in a massive strike back. We'll see how that plays out. We don't know yet what's going to be next. Iran has captured an oil tanker. So this whole thing is escalating, guys. And we're also out there burning ammunition in that theater. When we want to run short, should we have to deal with the Chinese? So we need to get some armaments built up real fast, but it takes a while. Oh, a salamander's a water dog? I always call them salamanders. Is that what we're talking about? A water dog's a salamander, cowhide. Water dogs are like a small catfish with legs. Okay. You call them water dogs. I always call them salamanders. I got a lot of salamanders right out here. A lot of little black salamanders. They can get about yay big. Most of them are like this, but I've seen a few bigger ones. And they're black with white spots on them. That's what I got in the woods. If you go out and rake back the leaves in the woods, and when not this time of the year, they're buried in the ground. We got a lot of frogs. At least Wonder Woman was there to keep you warm, Greg. Wonder Woman. Who was Wonder Woman? I didn't have any woman in a bag with me. At least Wonder Woman. I had a visitor, but we didn't stay together. I had a brief visitor to help out for a couple of days, but she stayed in her tent. Uh, we did not shack up together. We weren't that close. So my screen shows 240. I'm showing 224 in here now. So, and we've been going for 59 minutes, probably long enough. LOL, Wonder Woman, LOL. I don't know who you're talking about. Wonder Woman. Anyway, so Wonder Woman. So let's see. Salamanders are a good indication that your water is free of heavy metals. Well, that's good to know. So that means the groundwater in my woods is pretty safe then. Mud puppy. Yeah, I've heard them called that. Mud puppy. I never heard them called water dogs. That's a new one for me. Then known as the Western water dog. Necrotis beareri is a species of aquatic salamander in the family of, I don't speak Latin, guys. It's endemic to the deep south. It occurs in Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas. That's probably what I got. I did see some other types when I was a kid in the springs where I grew up. They weren't the black, white, striped ones. I saw some that were more kind of mud colored, maybe reddish. Mud puppy is another slang used for North American salamander. Yeah, I've heard mud puppy. Water dog was a new one for me. When y'all talking water dogs, I don't know what in the world y'all was talking about. Good night and stay warm. Thank you, Greg, for the update. Well, thank you, Big Doug. So let's go back up. See what people are saying. All right, now I can first comment when I'm scrolling up. You know what you see when you scroll up, what I see, it's not, well, if I don't catch stuff early on, I don't see the first comments. Keith in Arizona, crazy snow today, over a foot on the ground already. All right. Let's see, CR user, I rode my bike today. I'm in San Francisco area, sunny. And we need more rain. Well, good. All right, maybe you'll get it. Maybe you'll get it. Now, February seems to be the coldest, says Bill the Kid. I hope not. I need to be heading back to Arizona pretty soon. Here's a hidden video I have of Greg and me, oldie but goodie. Hey, there you go. Thank you, Gail with the Rainbow Food Rocks. That darn global warming. Yeah, we're all going to freeze to death. Yeah, we're talking about record-setting temperatures. Record-setting cold. That's what we're talking about. We're saying it's going to blow a lot of records for cold. Records. Yeah, global warming, right? Al Gore, what's going on? You say this wasn't going to happen, Al Gore. What's wrong with you? Let me see what my forecast is here. I'm going to pull up my specific forecast. So it tells me Monday night we're dropping down to 12 degrees, but Tuesday night they're predicting now 7 degrees. I was seeing 4 degrees at one point. So right now they're predicting 7 degrees. They're showing me Monday of having a 42% chance of snow. So I may get some something to show it all day long. So let's show you what I've got here. I doubt if y'all can see that. I don't like this focusing good. But anyway. And right now it's 47, so it's pretty warm outside compared. 222 in the channel, showing 215 now on my end. Dave, it's about time we got some real winter. Oh, I'm scrolled up though. Winter weather, okay. Tim Satori, 3006. Yeah, he's ordered worms from me. Thank you, Tim. Good to see you here. David Potter. Get my generator out, says Bolt Gun. Yeah, I don't even know if I got one working. I had several of them, but I don't know if I got one that's actually working here right now. That's a good question. I saw Cowgirl's comment there. So let me scroll back through some of these. Billy the Kid, I'm scared of corrupt politicians. Yeah, that may be the biggest thing to be scared of right now. Maybe the biggest thing to worry about. Beer, beans, and bullets. Cheers, Greg and everyone. Glad to see everyone working together. There you go. Fred Eric just popped in. What's going on tonight? War. All right. Okay. Nathan Austin, rub your hands together really fast. Work 60% of the time. 60% of the time, every time. That's a good one, Nathan. 6% of the time, every time. Wise out. How you doing? Granny, Lana, Gabby B. No trees here. My power comes from solar panels and wind generator. David Potter, I wonder where you're at. We'll ask that question. But we're not going to stay on late here, guys. We're going to go in a little bit. So, yeah, you know, there used to be people would sleep in their barn. Jesse Mills, good to see you here. Jesse and Keith are neighbors practically. Same general community there. Snow will soon be a thing of the past. Yeah, that was his quote, right? And the Arctic Ocean was supposed to be ice-free by now. See how that goes. So a lot colder than predicted, and it keeps going. Yes, Elton. How you doing, Elton? Good to see you in here. All right. 1,000 silver. Canadian prepper was be Al Gore's cousin or something. I don't know. He does talk the global warming story. So I don't know. He did come on the first comment he ever, I don't know, maybe it might have been the second one. He made a comment way years ago, kind of chastising me when I was talking about grand solar minimum. I don't really talk about grand solar minimum anymore because we don't seem to be in one. Not at the moment. Because our sun is really active. But in spite, see, here's the thing. We're in a solar maximum. We're heading right at it. We're at the cusp of the solar maximum. That's when temperatures typically get warm. And yet we're seeing cold. Is that not interesting? 5 degrees in central Nebraska. I bet. So, yeah, this global warming is going to freeze us all to death. Oops. Now I'm going to get one. I said the word. I'm sure now that when this video posts, it's going to have one of those little bars on the bottom talking about, I don't know, the NOAA or the UN's definition, blah, blah. The platform will define the terms of what I'm talking about because they love us so much. My last video that I did, the one I went live on last night, got demonetized. So the chats were all I earned. Well, I got super chats, that's it. So, yeah, it's kind of pathetic when they do that to you. We use propane wall heaters. How for 18 years they were unvented, 99.9% efficient. Yeah, we used to have gas water wall heaters and those freestanding heaters in the houses when I was a kid. We had a lot of that. Mad Cow Perkins, good to see you, Mad Cow Perkins. Been a little while. Good evening, Greg. Sent you pictures of my wood stove setup. That's good. Yeah, I got to do a wood stove stuff. I got one of these little 2-eye wood stoves. I look forward to setting that up. I'm gonna have to get some of those special spacers with extra pipes that go through walls. So I got to put one through the floor, going from the first story to the second story, then go out the wall, then up, make a turn. I was told not to go through the roof. That's what I was planning to do to start with. So anyway, well, all right, folks, we've been going for 68 minutes. We've hit the news. How about everybody tell us where you're from? Just throwing, we got a few people in here that's not normally in here. Well, snow, of course, yeah, we're going to have a lot more snow in the country than typical, a lot colder temperatures than typical, but we run the risk of losing power ahead of time. Now, should we get into it with Iran? There are sleeper cells in this country. Oh, yeah, I saw where one of the intelligence people just recently came out and said, you know, we got a threat from actually he didn't say Hamas, he said Hezbollah. Remember, actually said Hamas. I believe he said Hezbollah. We got a threat. There's a possibility that they could have agents in the United States that will do things. Knock, knock, knock. Hello. You should have been listening to me 5 years ago. I was already warning people. All right, Jason's Area 51, as usual. Melissa Harper, North Carolina. Bill Bradford, Texas. Michelle Young, Bella Vista, Arkansas. Mad Cal, Perkins, Southeast Tennessee. You're not that far from me, Mad Cal. My, how you say that? Myconopoli, I don't know how to say it. Florida, Greg Harmon. Second star on the right. There you go. Star Trek. Jason. Yeah, I'll tell you. Let's go to the second star on the right. Arkansas, Wise Northwest Florida, Twisted Ponies. Hey, we got a super chat. New Days for the cause. Thank you, New Days. I appreciate that. West Tennessee, Marcia. Coniferous Vegan. Miami, Florida. That's a great name. Coniferous Vegan. 30 miles from Area 51. Okay, Granny. She's getting over close to Jason Smith. Queensland down in Australia, Scooby Snacks. Okay. San Diego, Star Seed. Okay, San Francisco is Starfleet headquarters, right? Star Seed, you're not too far from Starfleet. All right. So, well, you're down in South. Well, it's a good distance from South California all the way up to San Francisco. That's a long distance. It's hours. Northeast Oklahoma. Good to hear that there, David Potter. All right. German. Hey, Greg, didn't see you live. I work nights for an aerospace company, but you're usually on after I go to work. Been listening for a long time now. Tough to catch a live show. I'm Rob from Tulsa. Okay, Rob from Tulsa. Journeyman, I guess is what your handle is here. So you work aerospace at night. Well, that's interesting. Alucard, not from space. Hey, Earth is in space. How do you be not from space? We're all in space. Galapagos, Ohio, says Bolt Gun. H.W. Whitney, Central Tennessee. In Central Tennessee, you're not that far from me, maybe an hour's drive. East of Dr. Jesse. Yeah, that's right, Keith. You and Jesse are neighbors. McAnapy. Oh, Valerie. Let's see. South Arkansas, Chris Smith. Elton. Southwest Nebraska. Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Okay, Anastasia Dodson. Very good. Northern Maine. Yeah, we know that. Northeastern Maine, New Days. And once again, thank you for the super chat, you and Rodney. So, oh, we got another super chat. Marcia, salute to Marcia. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wild Wild West, CYA, which is cover your Wild Wild West. Well, I'm heading toward the Wild Wild West. Madison County, Florida, Valerie Mack. Okay. Well, I'm in Madison County, Alabama right now. Bonnie, you can get stand to use, but prefer on wall. Yeah, talking about the heaters, propane heaters. Have you ever had a problem? We were off grid 16 years in Snowflake. Heat's on so well. So you were in Snowflake? Where are you at now, Bonnie? You were in Snowflake. Wow, cool. That's where I'm heading. Space Girl, blessing saints. Okay, I've seen people. I saw Cowgirl from Arizona said go Dolphins earlier. Yes, sir. Was a journeyman welder before I moved to Oklahoma 25 years ago. Now I'm an aerospace welder. Well, good for you. Very good. David Potter, I'm over here between Tulsa and Sand Springs, just down the road. There you go, Jason. I lived out in Oakhurst when I was a kid, says David Potter. All right. Oakland is loco. Yeah, I think you're right there. CYA. Yes, hooray, Marcia. Jim's Thunder. All right. Very good, guys. All righty. Minnesota, says Jim's Thunder. Minnesota. Like Governor, what was his name? The wrestler turned governor. Minnesota. Just west of Sand Springs. Okay, David, you and Jason might need to get together. All right, hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Jason Smith, for at requesting a thumbs up. We need all the support we can get in that regard. I saw one more. Get your snowflake spots set up so I can visit. Okay, Valerie Mack. I'll be working on that. I got a roof on it. Got one wall covered on the outside, and a couple pieces up on another wall for siding. So when I get Jesse Ventura, yeah, thank you. I was trying to remember his name. I just couldn't quite get it. In fact, I can't remember his name the other night. Too bad the Bears didn't beat the Packers, though. Yeah, I'm not into the sports stuff myself. Let's see here. What Mary's in the house? Jason's wife's name's Mary. Let's see here. Valerie Mack, you're living dream in a way, my dream away, trying to move to sea or North Florida. Okay. Mary, there we go. Mary is a Tulsa Fox. Yes. So we got Mary and Jason in the house together at one time here. I went down the tornado rabbit hole. Are you down this area, Mary? She's a truck driver. She's a truck driver. So Randy Newman, how you doing, Randy? David Potter, well, moved my 1966. Moved in 1966. Greg's 50 miles east of Tulsa. Oh, so you're 50 miles east of Tulsa. Okay. All right, 1966. That's the year I started school, first grade. I didn't go to kindergarten. Went straight to first grade. We have a Q4 drone off the coast of Jacksonville, Florida. Trenton, Florida, Nightman's wife. Amen to that. Marsha Marshall. Big howdy from Crockett, Texas. Well, big howdy to you. All righty, folks. We got 199 watching. We gained a couple people. So, all right. So that's pretty much it for tonight. I brought you the news. But we've been on 76 minutes. That's a long time to stay on for breaking news. So, Mary, are you down here in this neck of the woods? You said you went down the tornado rabbit hole. Well, there's going to be some tornadoes down here in the morning, I guess, or tomorrow. Well, morning storms usually aren't as bad as evening storms. That's the good news. Although when we had that super outbreak back in 2011, it was all day long, all day long. We had tornadoes from morning to past sunset. It was horrendous everywhere. There is a huge GG viewership in Northeast Oklahoma. That's right. I got a bunch of Okies in there. I appreciate that. We got a bunch of people from Arizona in here. We got a bunch of people from Australia in here. Sometimes we get Norway, England. I used to get a guy coming in from France. Maybe I talked too bad about macaroni. I don't know. I hadn't seen that before. Our French buddy of late. Or maybe he didn't like what I was saying about NATO. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of NATO, in case you hadn't noticed, or at least the way things are going with it, because I feel like it's what America's putting in it is disproportionate to what Europe ought to bring to the table. Because Europe has more people, and collectively the European countries have a higher GDP. So they're huge economic blocks. So I think they ought to be picking up more share. Trenton, Florida. Yes, rewind and catch the start of the video. Thank you, Journeyman. Exactly. It makes a difference. Vote today. Yeah, talked about that too. We got to beat Skynet. Amen, COA. Picture yourself where you want to be and it can materialize. Okay, Valerie Mack, that's power of intention. Running late. Good evening, Greg and people. Hey, Chewy Weather, welcome to the house. Chewy Weather is really busy right now because he actually does forecasts for people and groups, specific forecasts directly for them in their area. So if you can contact Chewy Weather, but he's super busy right now. He's got some amazing computer power he's talking about. He usually helps me with forecasts too, especially when I'm traveling. I'm late. I had to get the animals done before the storm hit. Good idea. Get groceries. Our Harnett Farms. Yeah, one of the things I did today was run and got some kerosene. And I got another tarp for my roof here. Already, you can follow me too. Okay, Granny. So, unknown unknowns. Let's see. All right, guys. Yeah, we got some people just joining. We just dropped a bunch. So we're about done here for the night. East Texas, Marshall. Mary says, I was thinking after I put my truck in a ditch and wait for the rescue after a tornado, I definitely got to take my e-tool and dig my Bosco heater. I'd hate to be in a truck in a tornado. I've seen trucks knocked over by a little bitty F1, almost a F0 tornado up here. So, yeah. What about the van? The van is still in Houston. I got a guy he's supposed to be working on it now. I hadn't heard from him today. So, yeah, I hope that pans out. If not, I'm going to be out again. So the stores were insane. It was like Black Friday with groceries. So around here, two things disappear. When they say the word snow, as soon as the word snow hits the forecast here, and all the local grocery stores, bread and milk go poof, they vanish. People hit the stores and they buy bread and milk. Why do you only drink milk and eat bread during snowstorms? There's some things you should have ahead of time anyway, right? Especially as a prepper. 2 moons spotted over Fallujah. 2 moons? Must be an optical illusion there, Watchman. 2 moons. Mary says, you know, the current food shortages kind of remind me of the nugget shortage factor in the old Biden administration. Yeah, well, you know, one thing that's going to be short is nugs, kibbles for your nugs. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, take the word nug and flip it around. And, you know, when you're feeding your pet nug, you got to feed it some kibbles, right? Happiness is a warm nug. But to get a warm nug, you got to feed kibbles through it. That warms them up. So the kibble source is about to go up in price a lot. It looks like they're talking about major escalation in prices for that this year. There are 20 states whose attorney generals wrote a letter to the Biden administration and asked them to shut down the supply of nug kibbles from Lake City, not Lake City, Florida. It's actually in, is it Missouri or Kansas? I think it's Missouri. The plant that makes those things, because it had a lot of federal funding to this plant, and they're trying to get the administration to only allow that plant to supply military. And they're claiming that those kind of nugs, kibbles, are military, only military. Really? Of course, they also like to claim that that black, you know, black riffles matter. You know, the black one, the one that's RA backwards, 51 backwards. If you get what I'm talking about, they claim that's a military weapon. No military on Earth ever uses that weapon. So you got to be kidding me. Of course, Biden, you know, he says you can't use those. You need a F-15. But then on the other hand, so they talk double speak. But when they want to go after them, they call them military. I don't know. Guys, I need to post that somewhere else so y'all can look at it and see whose attorney generals actually co-authored that letter and go after them. Yeah, Arizona's got an attorney general that was in that party. We got a bunch of Arizona buddies in here. So, guys, you know, we had a, Gail Rainbow Food Rock Selling House. She was our Arizona lead in the Freedom Restoration Foundation. She had to drop some of her commitment to the foundation, so because she was quite busy in other areas. But I may pick that up when I get out there. We've got to do some work in Arizona. Lake City, Missouri is where, yep, that's right. Not Missouri. It's in Missouri, not Lake City, Florida, where I thought I was heading at one time, possibly. Looks like that's not going through last time I checked. I don't think that's going to happen. I got a note from the guy who led that company, and he said, well, the investment money took too long. That market opportunity he did not think was still available for that enterprise. because of the competition. I don't know. We'll see where that goes. So, yeah, I was going to be the VP of engineering for that outfit if that went through. But anyway, I'm more focused on Arizona right now than anything. And actually, I need to be focused on liquidating all this stuff. But what you see, I'm going to pack all this up and take it to Arizona. I'm going to make a studio very similar to this in Arizona. And I'll hook it up to Starlink so I can be live just like this. Okay, guys, we need to call it a night. Madison County, Florida. Hello, Valdosta. Yeah, I know where Valdosta is at. Yes, I know where Valdosta is at. Alrighty, I've made many trips just north of Valdosta, like the Dell, Trenton, and Douglas in Georgia. It's just right above there. Many trips down in those neck of the woods, just above Valdosta. I think Arkell is being all right. I don't even know what we're talking about. Arkell, is there somebody in the chat room said something? All right, everybody, be nice. We're Family Channel especially. Alrighty, folks. Now we got more people joining. For those that's just joined, rewind. But the word is the United States and the United Kingdom went in together and hit the Houthis hard in Yemen. And the Houthis, prior to that, had said, if you hit us, we're going to respond bigger than ever before. So, guys, it's on. It's on. We're in it. It's escalating. And we got weather. You need to be prepping for this weather coming at us right now. But you also need to prep for the long term in case this goes, sleeper cells getting activated here in the United States, or it goes nuclear. Prep. Get ready. See my nuclear survival video. See my videos on how to purify and sanitize water. I got a video on that. Look at the wild edible videos, things like that. Look at my gardening videos. You need to know how to garden. And if you're going to garden in an area where there's no stores, you're not buying fertilizers, you better know how to do the bed preparation stuff that I talk about in there. And, I really encourage you to get worms. So I'm going to work with another outfit. Northeast Arizona. Hey, Bonnie, you are still in Northeast Arizona? Cool. You said you had been in Snowflake. Well, I'm heading back to Snowflake in a few weeks. Water is a key prep. You're right, Keith, in Arizona. Water is a key prep. Everybody talks about food all the time. That's why before I did the Wild Edible series, the first thing I did was a video on water. Water first, guys. Water first. Well, very possible someone asked anyway. I'm going to watch them say. Okay. Valerie Mack says, love you and pray for you, Green Gregs. Plus, I need worms if you got any now. I buy the smaller quantities. Don't buy the large ones. Buy 4 pounds or under. Don't buy anything below that right now. I'm going to shut off the higher orders. I'll probably shut them all off real soon for a while. So you might still be able to get worms from me for just a few weeks. I'm going to shut it off. But once I get reestablished in Arizona, I may turn it back on. But I'm probably not going to do the large quantities because post office just has so much trouble shipping them. It's not worth me dealing with that because post office, I don't know, if a worm crawls out of a box, the people in post office these days, they drop it. And then the customer never gets the box. I don't know what happens. I've just had box after box of larger boxes that just aren't going through. And so it's just not worth the trouble anymore. Greenhouse, 85% done. Well, good for you, David Potter. Sounds great. I'm growing on a biochar pit. Sure hope it all goes well. There you go. I think it's likely they hit more civilian. It may be in Yemen. I don't know. We'll find out. We don't know what the effects of this are yet. We'll find out tomorrow. And then the Houthis, what are they going to do? What's next? How's this going to escalate? Ordered tonight. I have a tower that needs tenants. Okay. We normally harvest on Sunday. If you order this week, make it a small order, like a pound maybe. I wouldn't order any more than a pound. If you're doing a tower, a pound, half pound will probably be enough because they'll multiply real fast. I wouldn't order more than a pound. Just like to rage about a mirror. Okay. To Yeah, I just had some email. I got to go back and double check it. Like removing this heart. All righty, folks. Amir to PM. Okay. We should have more of a prepping community up here. People are aimlessly close. Go to survivaltribenetwork.com. Survivaltribenetwork.com and see if there's people in your area. Join it. See who's around and try to network with them if you can. We've got quite a few people already signed up in there. Prison beds are metal. Yeah, you're not going to grow much vegetables in a prison bed. Kidding. I did talk to him one time on the phone. He's an Egyptian guy. Okay. Booger dog. Houthis are mobile. Here today, somewhere else tomorrow. Sell out real. Yeah, they moved a lot of their stuff too. Booger dog. Good to see you. I'm talking to the watchman about a different channel. Oh, okay, different channel chat. I couldn't figure out what you're doing there. That makes sense now. All right. Great. All right, no problem. No problem. Well, you're multitasking. Yeah, this is a normal time. A lot of channels are live. So we got some competition. Texas still have 6 pieces of acreage. I'm not sure. Snowflake Heights. I know where Snowflake Heights is. I know exactly where Snowflake Heights is. Pass it a zillion times. You know, I'm east of there. East of the country store. You got to go east and then turn north to get my place. All righty. All right. Nothing there. I hope you don't get any storms, Nightman's wife, but you might have some down there. Bonnie, you must be really close. Now you still have 6 pieces of acres. You mean 6 acres? Okay, Bonnie. So you're in Texas, but you still got place up in Snowflake. Okay. Well, hopefully you get back up there. Maybe we can say hi to each other one day. All righty, folks. Hey, thank you, super chatters. Thank you very much. Salute to each of you. I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you, mods. And with that, I'm going to say to one and all, a good night.